Before books filled our shelves, before stories were written down, they were carried by voices, around fires, across generations, from one traveler to another. Welcome to Fireside Stories. Tonight, let's revisit one of the tales that refused to be forgotten. In the Amazon River, there is a creature that lures men to their deaths. She has a human face, beautiful, hypnotic. She has long hair that flows like water itself, and she has a fish tail where her legs should be. Her name is Iara, and she is one of the most dangerous spirits in South American folklore. The Tupi-Guarani people of Brazil have known about Yara for centuries. They say she waits where the river runs deepest, in the places where the river is darkest, where the current is strongest, where visibility disappears into black. She doesn't chase her victims, she waits for them to come willingly. The legends say she seduces men. She sings to them. She lures them into the water with her voice, and then she drowns them. But Tiara is not a monster in the way that Western folklore understands monsters. She is not evil for evil's sake. She is a river itself, given form and intention. She is what happens when you forget that water has power, that beauty can be lethal, that the Amazon does not care about human survival. In Tupi-Guarani mythology, Iara is a water spirit of the highest power. Her name is often translated as Lady of the Water, though the exact meaning varies between Tupi languages and later Portuguese retellings. Whatever the translation, everyone agrees on one thing: if you meet her, you have already gone too far. She is not merely a creature that lives in water, she is a being of water, part of the river itself, capable of taking human form but remaining fundamentally aquatic, fundamentally other. The legends described her as irresistibly beautiful, perfect features, eyes that seem to hold the depths of the river itself. When she emerges from the water, men cannot look away. She sings. Her voice is unlike anything human. It carries the sound of flowing water, of rain, of waves. Men who hear it describe being unable to resist. The song pulls at something deep in them, something primal. The song is an invitation. Come to the water, enter the river, join me in the depths. And men follow. They walk into the Amazon. They wade in, they swim out, and they disappear. She doesn't force anyone into the river. They choose to follow. That's what makes the story so unsettling. Imagine you're a fisherman. The sun has already disappeared beneath the trees. The river is almost perfectly still. Then, somewhere across the water, someone begins to sing. You can't tell how far away the voice is. It sounds close, then distant, then beside you. The forest falls strangely quiet. Even the birds stop calling. On a smooth rock near the bank sits a woman. Her hair catches the moonlight. She slowly draws a golden foam through it. She smiles, as though she's been expecting you. Iara does not hunt randomly. She chooses her victims carefully. According to the legends, she favors men who have wronged women, men who have been cruel, men who have abandoned lovers, men who have committed violence. But she also hunts men who are simply careless, men who wander too close to the water at night, men who ignore the warnings of the elders. The hunting begins with the song. Iara sings from the depths. Her voice carries across the water. It echoes along the banks. Men who hear it experience a compulsion. They must find the source of the voice. They must see who is singing. They must meet her. Some stories say she appears on the bank, singing and combing her long hair with a golden comb. Men see her and become entranced. They walk towards her, they enter the water. Other stories say she simply sings from the depths, and men wade in to find her, going deeper and deeper until the water closes over their heads. Either way, the result is the same. The man drowns. His body is pulled down to the river. It is never found. Like many stories that has been passed from one generation to the next, no one can agree on how Yara first came to the river. Some say she has always lived there, that she is as old as the Amazon itself, a spirit born with the first rain, long before human beings gave the river a name. But another story, perhaps the best known in Brazil today, says Yara was once entirely human. She was the daughter of a powerful village chief. Unlike the other young women in her village, she trained as a warrior. She was fearless, a gifted hunter, strong enough to match and often surpass the men around her. Her father admired her, her brothers did not. Some versions say they grew jealous of the praise she received. Others say they feared the honor she brought their family would one day become hers alone. Whatever the reason, they decided she had to die. One night they attacked her, but Iara fought back. When it was over, her brothers lay dead. Terrified of what her father would do, she fled into the forest. But there was nowhere to hide forever. Eventually, she was captured and brought before the chief. Whether she had acted in self defense no longer mattered. His sons were dead. Justice demanded a punishment. He ordered Iara tied and thrown into the Amazon River. It should have been the end of her story. Instead, the river chose her. Some legends say the fish carried her through the current. Others say the moon looked down with pity and transformed her. When she emerged again, she was no longer human. Her voice carried across the water like birdsong. Her beauty became impossible to resist, and the river that had once been her execution became her home. Whether this is truly how Iara came to be, or simply another story woven into the legend, no one can say. Like the river itself, the truth changes depending on where you stand. The Amazon is the world's largest river system. It is vast, powerful, unpredictable. The Tupi-Guarani people lived in relationship with the Amazon. They depended on it for food, water, and transportation. But they also respected it. They understood that it could kill. Iara is a way of naming that danger. She is the river's power made personal. She is what happens when you disrespect the water, when you forget that it is not yours to command. Specifically, Iara hunts men who have wronged women. This is significant. It suggests that Iara is also a protector of women, a spirit who punishes men who abuse their power, who hurt the vulnerable. In this sense, Iara serves a social function. She is a myth that teaches men treat women with respect or face the consequences, wander carelessly into the water or face the river's vengeance. The legend also reflects the real dangers of the Amazon. People do drown in the river. Currents are strong. The water is dark. Predators exist. Iara is a way of explaining these real dangers through a mythological framework. Iara has not disappeared into history. She persists in contemporary Brazilian culture. She appears in literature, in art, in films. Today, Iara still appears throughout Brazilian culture, in children's books, paintings, television, music, and contemporary retellings of indigenous folklore. Indigenous storytellers continue to preserve the legend, while modern writers often reinterpret Iara as a guardian of the rainforest itself. Contemporary Brazilian authors have retold Iara's stories from different perspectives. Some portray her as a victim, a woman transformed into a spirit cursed to live in the water. Others portray her as a powerful being, neither good nor evil, simply existing in her river. The myth is also adapted for modern contexts. Some versions make Yara a protector of the Amazon itself, hunting men who destroy the forest or pollute the river. In these tellings, she is an environmental avenger, defending her home against human exploitation. What's remarkable is that despite centuries of colonization, despite attempts to erase indigenous culture, Iara has survived. She remains part of how Brazilian people understand their relationship with the Amazon. Almost every culture has imagined something waiting beneath the water. Greece had its sirens. Scotland tells stories of selkies. Across Europe, there are mermaids who lure sailors from their ships. But Iara is different. She is not simply a beautiful creature who distracts men. She is the river itself, with intention and will. She hunts specific men. She chooses her victims based on their actions. She is not random. She is not merely seductive. She is purposeful. This makes her more dangerous than simple sirens, because you cannot avoid her simply by plugging your ears or avoiding the water. She will find you if you have wronged someone, if you have forgotten to respect the river. The next time you see a river, remember Yara, not because she literally exists, though the Tupi-Guarani would say that certainty is not your place to make, but because the river is real, its power is real, its danger is real. Iara is a way of personifying that power. She's the river's voice, the river's will, the river saying, I'm not here for your convenience, I'm not here to serve you, respect me or I will take you. The people who first told stories about Iara never believed they owned the river. They believed they lived beside something older, stronger, and deserving of respect. We have learned to dam rivers, to divert them, to use them without asking permission. Iara reminds us the river is not ours. We are guests in its domain, and guests must show respect. The Amazon is the largest river on Earth. It covers an area the size of Australia. It flows with enough water to fill 1,000 lakes. Iara is the voice of that vastness, the personification of that indifference to human life, the reminder that some things are older, more powerful, and more dangerous than we are. Perhaps that's why Iara has survived for centuries. Not because people fear a woman beneath the water, but because they understand what she represents. The Amazon doesn't need us, it never has. And if one quiet evening you hear someone singing somewhere beyond the mist, the oldest advice is still the best. Don't answer. Let the river keep its secrets. Every culture tells different stories, yet somehow they all speak to the same hopes, the same fears, and the same questions that make us human. Thank you for joining me around the fire. Until next time, keep the stories alive.